Hey guys! So this video was meant to be on my Xena GK channel, but since it's a very broad topic, I decided to also upload it here because probably a lot of you won't be able to see it if it's on my Xena channel. So yeah, I think it's a very interesting topic. So guys, enjoy the video and let me know what you think in the comments as usual. And by the time you're watching this, I'm probably going to see The Mummy. So yeah, hopefully enjoy the movie, although it received so many bad reviews, but let's see what I think. So guys, see ya later. Enjoy. Hi guys and welcome to Xena GK. So, as you know, I don't really have time to make a lot of videos about the channel, but I am trying when there is a, really good topic that I want to discuss. And now, today we're going to discuss the differences between Wonder Woman and Xena, because a lot of people kinda, wonder what the heck is the difference here. And they call Wonder Woman a warrior princess, when Xena fans well know that this is a title that is reserved only for Xena because it means something. It's not just, oh yeah, she's a princess and she's a warrior, therefore she's a warrior princess. I mean, that's common these days, but I don't think that it's correct to call a lot of characters, because I've heard that, about a lot of female characters before, that they have nothing to do with what, warrior princess really is, so to speak. But first, guys, in order to get, and for the people that really don't know what are the differences between Xena and Wonder Woman, we have to talk about their origins. So I'm going to try to explain this as brief as possible, but of course some explaining is need to be done, so keep that in mind. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. I'm going to use the movie Wonder Woman because I just saw it for reference, and the origins in that movie, and because that is canon right now in the Wonder Woman universe. In the comics, there were a lot of different variations of her origins, but in general, what it is in the movie is that she was sculpted from clay and Zeus made her, alive. But basically, the movie, okay, I'm going to get into spoilers. So if you watch the movie, you'll see how the movie explained it, but with two words. She's the daughter of Zeus, and her mother is the queen of the Amazons, Hippolyta, so she basically is a demigoddess. And in the movie, the Amazons are not, they're not immortal, they can die from a wound, so that sucks actually. Anyways, so Wonder Woman grew up, she was fighting, learning to fight, learning about herself, but not really, because a lot of information was hold back. And again, I don't want to get into spoilers about the movie, so I'm just going to, say things in general. So she found out about our world, and she felt she understood more about her abilities and what she is. And her value system is basically believing in the goodness of mankind, and she's going to do whatever possible to protect mankind because it's her duty as well. So she has a lot of very, very great values, and she uses them and she understands them, and it is the law for her. So she is purely good. She is initially good. And as abilities, of course, she has a lot of abilities. Durability, she's half god, although she was called a goddess in the movie. So that's kind of confusing from one hand. But let's say she's a god. Not god that can do everything, but she's an immortal being with a lot of powers. She has a lasso of truth. She has a very awesome shield. They didn't say that they were made by Hephaestus, but that is how it's supposed to be. Her armor, they really didn't explain anything about the armor, if that is made by Hephaestus. Maybe it is, because it was a room that a lot of special things were stored there. That was never explained and addressed, unfortunately. So that is Wonder Woman, guys. She is an Amazon because she grew up with them. Her mother is the queen of the Amazons, and she grew up as an Amazon, so that makes her an Amazon, but also a goddess, because, her father is freaking Zeus. And now Xena. A lot of people just mistaken Xena for so many things now these days. That's very frustrating for a Xena fan like me because I do know that Xena is so much freaking more than people imagine her to be. She really is. It's unbelievable her story. So origin of Xena, hold on to your butts. But basically guys, Xena lived in a very small village or relatively small village, never mind, Amphipolis. Amphipolis, that was actually a real village that existed in my country, in ancient times. In our land, there were actually a village called Amphipolis, and I'm from Bulgaria, so just keep that in mind, just in general information. And Zina was about 13 and 14 years old. The village was attacked by a warlord and his army. Her brother, Lysias, her younger brother, was killed. And then Xena freaked out. I mean, imagine you're a girl, let's say, in a village in ancient times, and you're just thrown into this situation to defend yourself. But since she was still developing, she didn't have a lot of influence. Basically, guys, you can go two ways in that situation. You either go evil and freak out, and this is a very heavy psychological trauma, or you can close yourself up, become very modest and good and just damaged by the whole thing. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen, but I'm just saying, basically two things. So she decided to initially to do something good by gathering people, and with those people to protect other villages so she can make sure that will never happen again. But in that road of things, she decided to take money for protection, basically for the people, for the villagers to pay her and her now small army. And she got lost in that whole process. She became hungry for power and just bitter and angry, and she put all of that into this lust for power. So she basically lost herself. She was still redeemable, but unfortunately, when she finally got the boat, her her men were more, her army, basically her small army, was bigger. She met Caesar, and Caesar was very young. He saw everything as an opportunity, and although he was very attracted to Xena, she was still naive, and she fell for him, and he betrayed her because she was in his way, and she was carrying a lot of gold and things that he can really use for his army, for resources. So he just flat out betrayed her, took her ship, and crucified her, broke her legs on the cross, and Xena was left for dead. Fortunately, by the time that happened, Xena already had a girl that she met that was very skilled in the martial arts of pressure points used for killing and healing, and that girl was there and she saved Xena. She brought her to a healer. The healer was able to cure Xena, but by that time Xena was so bitter and angry and she became more evil. She was consumed by revenge, and she put all of that into gathering bigger army, going through villages, killing everything in sight except women and children. At least I think later on she met a guy that was also Lord. They became like boyfriend and girlfriend basically, but he later redeemed himself and Xena stayed evil. She met Lao Ma, that was a Chinese empress. She taught Xena amazing martial art techniques with the mind. You can move objects and do a lot of things, a lot of wisdom. So Xena could be turned good. Then Xena could be turned by that guy that she met, Marias, but she was just stubborn. She was so deeply lost in her ways. And she could be even turned by that girl that taught her all those martial arts, but she was killed, so Xena became even more evil. She met finally Hercules, and with Hercules there was a real chance for Xena, and fortunately for her, she was betrayed by her general Darfus. She wanted to kill Darfus, and Hercules was finally in between that mess. He was finally able to show her that this is wrong, because also Darfus did want to kill women and children. There was no line that he wouldn't cross, and when Xena saw that, she was like, oh my goodness, this is so wrong. And she actually saved a child, a baby, Darvis killed, the mother's baby. That was super disgusting. So between his betrayal and how Hercules was there to show her that there was another way, Xena was finally turned into good. She saw everything bad that she ever did that she wanted to change, so she became the good Xena, started to go around the world and do good things. Of course, between that and Xena becoming good, there was a lot of other stories to tell, but that is basically Xena's origin. She became the good person that she is, and throughout the whole series, we see how she grows, how she develops, how she has all of the knowledge that she has and abilities, and what will happen if she actually stays evil, and what will happen. She's going to conquer the whole world basically. And that is, guys, about Xena's origin. Also, in terms of the powers, Xena doesn't have any powers. She's just a human, but a human that is so developed with intelligence, cunningness, martial arts, techniques, strategy. She's just so awesome. That is unbelievable. And through that time when she met Lao Ma, the Chinese empress, Lao Ma actually gave her that title, a warrior princess, which basically means that she's so skilled in her warrior ways as a warrior that she is like a warrior princess, a princess of being a warrior. Although you can say like why she's not the warrior queen then. I don't know, maybe because she was young then and that's why Lao Ma decided to call her a princess instead of a queen, and princess just sounded better. And by the way, if you hear something, it's just my neighbors going crazy, making some kind of a I don't know what, but they're crazy right now. And Xena did had some powers through her life. She got powers from Lao Ma, but because she wasn't in peace with herself, she didn't really get to use them all that much, only in particular occasions in the beginning, then later on, and she could freeze entire armies, make them stone. So basically she can do anything that she wants, so that's too much of a power, so they just removed that. Then she got the power to kill gods, and that was removed as well. And the power to kill gods is just the fact that she can pierce their mortality, their flesh, because usually when a sword gets through a god, it's just like in the air. I mean, the sword just like going through the body, but there's no damage. Just comes in, comes out, like the matter dissolves at that place that the sword is coming in, and Xena just pulls it out. There's no blood, there's no nothing, there's no wound, there's just no sign of anything. But when Xena got that power, she just pierced them, and everything that touched her can kill a god. Like for instance, when the gods attacked Xena, a bolt was thrown directly in towards Xena, but she just reflected it with her chakram, and that hit Poseidon, and Poseidon just vaporized because he was all made of water, and that was so awesome. But generally speaking, Xena is not a god, she's not a half god, she's just a mortal. And there was some speculation that she may be a daughter of Ares, but that was just a joke in one episode, so that is not the case, guys. That is not the case. That was just a joke that Xena actually made up when she didn't even had her mind right. Her sanity was taken by the Furies, and that is a whole different story. So the Xena story and origin is a lot longer to explain, but the big difference between her and Wonder Woman, guys, is that Xena was freaking evil. She was very evil. She met a lot of evil people in her life that taught her a lot of things. The evil shaman is Alti, Ares himself, and Ares is not that evil in the Xena universe, but he is, he's doing things to suit his agenda, and sometimes those things are very, very evil, and he just has fun with that, but he's not doing this out of pure evilness. He's just so irresponsible, basically. Yes, he doesn't feel like remorse, so he's not sad when somebody gets hurt, but eventually he kinda got it. He kinda got why he shouldn't do such things. I mean, he does things by his nature, basically. But Xena, guys, because she's very smart, she was able to defeat all the gods. And she had a lot of occasions. I mean, she had at least 2 occasions in which she could become a god, but she just didn't want to. She was tempted, but She just didn't want to, but she's going to make a great god, of course. But back to the topic here. So Wonder Woman is purely good. She's very, very good. She's a badass. She doesn't take crap from anyone. She's very strong mentally, physically. She doesn't have the same understanding of what it's like to be bad. The same as Xena, because Xena was bad and she knew a lot of warlords and she knows the gods and she just know a person of power, how they think, what they want, what they could want. So she sees right through them, and that's how she was able to defeat every other enemy that she ever had. Even some of the toughest ones that were very unique, she finds a way. She just sees in their psyche. She's like a psychologist, basically. She knows how they think, she understands them, and she just destroys them totally because she understands what is their weakness. So that is the big difference. And also she has a dark side to her, that evil that she initially had. She's suppressing that, but sometimes she does go far, and Gabrielle, her companion and psychic, has to pull her back and say, well, Xena, this is a bit much. That's rare, but there are some occasions, especially in the beginning of the show, where Xena was still really struggling with what she did to people, how to redeem herself, and Ares really played into that, and he really wanted Xena to be on his side so she can be the destroyer of nations, and so she can control everything and conquer everything. He just wants to see war because that is what is feeding him, that is what makes him powerful, and that is what entertains him, basically. So guys, that's pretty much it. If we have to say Xena versus Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman is going to kill Xena. This is the same problem and the same thing that we have with Superman and Batman. Batman can find ways to kill Superman. He can, with his amazing battle skills, martial arts skills, overall smarts. He can find a way and bring down a Superman. But in the same time, if Superman wants, he can just swoop in and that's going to be over. He can just fly into the air and destroys Batman with his heat vision. He can just blow him into whatever he wants to blow him from. He can just do this and make a wave and blow him again into the air. He can freeze him to death. And it's kind of similar thing between Xena and Wonder Woman. Xena is super clever. She knows her mythology because although they're different, they're a part of the same mythology, the Greek gods and everything else. They're put in different universes, like in parallel universes, but with the same gods. This kind of a Greek mythology environment also. So Xena can find a weapon that can kill a god. Xena can ask another god or trick the other god to bestow her a power so she can kill Wonder Woman. She can do so many things, and Wonder Woman is not an idiot. Of course, she's super smart, but Xena, knowing Xena, she can think of things that you can even think of. You just can't think of them, but Xena will think of them. She's going to find a way, and she's going to totally defeat Wonder Woman, even in hand-to-hand combat. If Xena has the power, the one that's going to win, should be Xena. Usually, should be Xena. Because she does know martial arts of the Amazons. She does know a lot of other martial arts. She basically went to the whole world, learned everything possible, even the pressure points, and she can use all of that in her advantage if she has some kind of a power to counter Wonder Woman. And let's say that they are just like sparring, like Wonder Woman was sparring with the Amazons, and she doesn't use her strength. Then Xena again should win. It should be very, very close match, but still Xena should win. So in that sense, Xena is the better warrior, I think, than Wonder Woman, the better skilled warrior, although Wonder Woman should be the best warrior ever. But from what I have seen from Wonder Woman and what I know and seen about Xena, just Xena wins even with this close, but she does. And her chakram is also very strong. She has 2 chakrams. But like I've said, if this is just one-on-one, and if Wonder Woman uses her power, which is the natural power, I mean, Xena should be dead. Xena should be dead. So that's it. Again, the same thing with Batman and Superman. It could go either way depending on the situation, basically. But if Xena had Wonder Woman's powers, yeah, I think that Wonder Woman should be very, very dead. Because also Xena has this when she is angry and when she really is to kill somebody, you are dead. I mean, that person is freaking dead. You can't escape from Xena, you can't hide from Xena, you can't think of anything. She's going to find you, kill you, use every bit of tracking skills that she has, because she also has a lot of tracking skills, sniffing skills even. Whatever skills you can think of. I mean, she's like MacGyver. She also can MacGyver things, make things out of nothing. She defeated giants, literally giants. She defeated all the gods, although yes, she had, the power to kill gods. But guys, she had the power to pierce them, but she didn't have any enhancement to herself. She didn't have any immortality to protect her. They wounded her, and even then, I mean, there was different battles between her and the gods. It wasn't like one battle, it was during several hours between the battles, but she totally flat out destroyed every one of the gods, even when they were all against her with all their powers, and she was still mortal. Freaking mortal. The only difference is again that she can pierce their mortality, she can hit them with something deadly and they're going to be dead because it was touched by her. That is the only thing. I mean, that is freaking the only thing. Like, for instance, when she was responsible for a huge cart falling down on one of the gods and he was crushed by the cart. So usually that won't hurt him at all. I mean, he's just going to go through that, no problem. But because it was Xena that did that somehow, through her effort and action, that cart was, falling on him. That is what made him dead, basically, only because of that. But other than that, Xena was vulnerable and could be hurt the whole time, completely mortal, but they didn't manage. So imagine Xena against a lot of gods. In the same time, she defeated everybody. So that is why I think that it could go either way, but I would give the advantage to Xena if there's some kind of a situation. Then Xena can either have powers or prepare, or let's say they're on the field, there's a god killer weapon there, and she picks that up. Of course, if Wonder Woman managed to do whatever that she did in the movies, Xena is again dead. But I'm just saying that there's a huge chance that Xena could do something incredible that we can't even think about. Although again, they are both very, very smart and I do love both. I'm just trying to be objective here. But that's it, guys. Differences between Wonder Woman and Xena. Wonder Woman is initially good and she's very good, pure good. Xena is, good, but she has this dark side that sometimes comes out and she has to fight that, and she can see everything. She can outsmart everybody and see through every plan, every tactic, military tactic, and think of something else to even, top that. And then if the enemy comes up with something else, she can top that also. And she fought Athena and defeated Athena when Athena is the goddess of weaving, but strategy and warfare as well. She defeated that, the goddess of strategy and warfare. Keep that in mind, guys. This is not the versus kind of a video, but yeah, it kind of became that as well. Just to let you know both powers of both, and they're both very, very different. Anyway, guys, so that's it. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and please be respectful. And like I said, I love both, and we're never probably going to see a battle between them anyways. Yeah, they're different properties, so yeah. If Wonder Woman succeeds, we can have a Xena movie, and that could open the doors for Xena in a lot of ways, guys. So Xena fans, go and support the freaking Wonder Woman movie. It's very important. It's very important in a lot of ways. So just go and see it, go and support it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please let me know what you think again in the comments. Please check out my other channels, Garage Reviews, Garage Gaming, whatever, and fitness, if you're interested in fitness and health and how you can make these guns and more. Until next time, guys, with Dina GK7, me, Gary, and yeah, till next time, guys. Bye bye.